Aloha and welcome to our video on the geologic timescale. In this video we'll describe what the geologic timescale is. We'll also identify the eons, the eras, the periods, and the epochs of the geologic timescale. Okay, so in your lesson you're going to see this picture show up a bunch, and this one kind of shows us what the geologic timescale is. What it was is it was a way of organizing what's happened in Earth's past into a way that we kind of can make sense. So it's taking the information and putting it into a way that we kind of understand it. We broke down geologic timescale first into its largest divisions are going to be the eons, and you can see that there are 4 of them, and we'll talk about them in a couple slides. We also have the eras, and there's going to be 3 major eras of the last eon that we'll talk about, and then we'll talk about periods a little bit more in the next coming videos. So when we look at the eons that have happened, there's 4 major eons that we talk about. The first was the Hadean eon, and that happened from about 4.6 to 4 billion years ago. And this is the formation of Earth was happening then. So the accepted age of the Earth is about 4.6 billion years ago. So that's when the Hadean started. And it's going to basically take us through the first 500 million years or so of Earth's history. It's followed by the Archean one, which is going to take us from 4 to about 2.5 billion years ago. And this is where we're seeing the formation of crust, the formation of the atmosphere, the formation of oceans, and things of that nature. That's followed by the Proterozoic era, and that's going to take us all the way from 2.5 billion years to about 500 million years ago. And Proterozoic means early life. So these areas here, what we're talking about is they're taking about 4 billion years of time. And our drawing's not to scale because we have a lot more information. We have more fossils, we can read the rock record, and that's going to tell us a lot more about our most recent era, which is the Phanerozoic era, and that means visible life. So we're going to start seeing multicellular things. We see a lot more formations, we have a lot more information. So when we look at our geologic time, we're seeing that we can break this one down, this Phanerozoic, down a lot more. So notice that this is not the scale by time, but it kind of breaks it down so we can see what was going on. Now within the Phanerozoic eon, about the last 500 million years, we break it down into 3 different eras, and we're going to study those in the upcoming videos. The first one was the Paleozoic, and that's ancient life, and that's where we see most modern groups of animals and organisms and plants evolve. So we're seeing most of the types of organisms. We're not seeing modern day ones, but at least we're seeing the types. That was followed by the Mesozoic era, and that's where we see a lot of forests and reptiles, and Mesozoic means middle life. And then the most recent era is going to be the Cenozoic era, and we're still in the Cenozoic era. And that one is where we see the rise of mammals, birds, and flowering plants. And as I mentioned, we'll be talking about these in a lot more detail in the upcoming videos. Okay, so as I was telling you, this isn't exactly to scale. Here we have about 4 billion years. Okay, and that's going to be the Precambrian time, and that's where we're talking about this Proterozoic, the Archean, and the Hadean eons. And that's going to be followed by the last 500 million years of this Phanerozoic one. And that was broken down into 3 different eras, the Paleozoic, the Mesozoic, and then the Cenozoic. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to talk a little bit about the next periods of these eras in the next 3 videos. So we'll look at each of these 3 eras independently, and that's what we'll be spending in the next couple videos, looking to see what happened. And here I just wanted to show you another picture. It kind of shows you the same thing. We can see our time going along here. Notice it's not to scale, but on the other side, I thought that was kind of neat that it kind of showed you some representative things that were going on there. So you can kind of see how we have some primitive life here, single-celled organisms, and we can see how complexity and different types have evolved up over time. So that's it for this video. Good luck on your quiz and your lessons, and we'll see you in the next video.